in listen-only mode.
Okay, hello everyone. Very warm welcome to all those who are attending here, and of course to all those who have joined us through webinars. A very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of HRI's team. And now, as you all know, we have a Tech Talk session on iOS, and the presenters today are Priya Mohan and Shivashankar. So I hand it over to you guys to start your session. So if you have any sort of questions, please raise your hands. They'll be very eager to answer. Thank you.
Okay. Hi guys. Good evening. Good afternoon. Let me, as all we know that, let me introduce ourselves first. I'm Mohan, works for iOS app Ancestry. He is Shankar, works for FTM Ancestry. And we both are here to share knowledge regarding iOS. Don't expect much from this, not in a negative sense. They are not going to talk in detail like app development or any app automation tool. We are only concentrating on the basics, what we came across for the past 1.5 years in our testing. Okay. I don't want to beat around the bush. Let's enter into the real topic, the presentation. These are the contents we are going to discuss throughout the session. Yeah. Now the world has become very busy. Everyone have their busy life with their lives. They are not interested to sit in front of PC, only in front of PC and accessing the technology. They need to access technology wherever they want, and this was made possible by the mobile applications. And by mobile applications, we can access any technology. For example, if you install your Facebook onto your mobile, you can access it through while making journey, or doing, or eating your lunch, or doing doing something else. You can access wherever you want. And for a mobile application, there are many mobile platforms. If you want to develop any mobile application, you need to target a mobile platform. There are many mobile platforms like iOS, Google Android, BlackBerry, and other etc. And we are only concentrating on the iOS. We are here to share knowledge about iOS only. And iOS came into existence because of iPhone. This is the first iDevice which was released by Apple. And it's our courtesy to know about Apple Inc. Let's have a brief introduction about Apple Inc. Apple Inc. was established in 1976, Cupertino, California. The founders of Apple Inc. are Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. Steve Jobs is a great man. I'd like to tell a few words about Steve Jobs. He's a great man. He's one of the co-founders of Apple Inc. Even though I read somewhere his name, Walter Isaacson wrote the biography of Steve Jobs. In his book, he explains how Steve Jobs struggled in his entire life, and how he got fired from his own company. Even though he's one of the co-founders, he got fired from Apple Inc. Later, he started another company, and how he came back to his Apple company, Apple, with flying colors, and took over the Apple, and he made the Apple a near bankruptcy to profitable one. It is really thought-provoking. I personally got inspired after reading a few lines about Steve Jobs. And let's get back to Apple Inc. What Apple Inc. does means it's a multinational corporation. What I said earlier, it produces both hardware and software products. Hardware products includes Macintosh line of computers and iDevices. Macintosh line of computers means iMac systems and Mac notebooks, Mac laptops comes under this. And iDevices means iPod, iPad, iPhone and all this comes under devices. You are a little bit confusing between iPad and iPod. The smaller device, just like phone, that is called iPod, and the bigger one is called iPad. Okay, and software products includes iOS, so what we are discussing about, and Mac OS, which is used in Mac systems and Mac laptops. And Apple has become the third largest mobile phone maker after Nokia and Samsung. Um, let's move on to iOS introduction. What I said earlier, iOS is one of the mobile operating system which is used in iDevices. It was developed in Objective C. The kernel code of iOS was took from Unix. At first, Apple literature didn't specify any separate name for this operating system. They used to call as iPhone runs on OS X or iPhone OS. Later, it was renamed as iOS. This is about iOS introduction, and this is iOS versions. These are the different versions of iOS from 1.0, 1.2, and the release dates and list of devices which are compatible for each version. And this is about. And for if you see, if Android versions, for Android versions, for each Android version, it was named with eatable name, I guess. Something like KitKat, Cupcake. There is that name is not provided in iOS versions. Only the versions is 1.10. If you look into these versions up to 2.0, iOS 1.0 and 2.0, this version doesn't support any third-party applications to install on it. Third-party applications means, for example, Angry Bird game. It is an application which is not developed by Apple, which is developed by other third party. We are able to install it on. We are able to installing many applications like Angry Bird, Facebook apps from App Store to onto our devices, right? This is called third party application. This two version doesn't support any third party application to install any. To overcome this problem, Apple had released the SDK, and this SDK provides a platform to develop a platform for third-party developers to develop their own apps, and they can post them into App Store or they can distribute through App Store. Got it? Up to 2.0, there is no SDK, or it doesn't support any third-party application to install on it. From 3.0, these versions support third-party applications to install on it. And however, the first three versions, iOS 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0 are outdated and no more available. And yeah, this is about iOS versions. Yeah, what? Yeah, and the latest version is 6.1.4 till now. The next planning version going to release the latest planning version is iOS 7. The latest version is iOS 7. We are very excited to say that we have installed iOS 7 beta version. iOS 7. We can install the beta versions through a developer account. Normal users can't install that iOS beta version onto their devices, but developer can. For developer account, you need to pay $99 for Apple. Okay, if you are an Apple, if you have Apple developer account, you can install iOS 7 beta version onto your devices. We have did that, and we had prepared a documentation for that. How we upgraded from 6.1.4 version to iOS 7. We have documented that, and we have that. We'll publish it later. And one more thing to say that we works for iOS Ancestry app. Our Ancestry iOS people have tied up with Apple, and they are promoting our app along with the iOS 7 release. Okay, Apple people are helping us out for our app to make our app more look and feel, for better look and feel. Okay, this is about iOS versions. Let's move on to mobile application development. Okay, This is the important concept. I would like to focus more because different types of apps. What we are more concentrating. We use it to everything apps. Everything the web applications are working is transforming into the mobile applications. Mainly mobile applications are categorized into three types. First one is mobile applications are categorized into three types. First one is web applications, mobile web applications, native applications, and hybrid applications. Web applications. Coming to web applications, these are the applications which runs on the browser of the mobile. Example, for example, what we open in your mobile browser, everything or the examples of mobile web applications. These web applications are developed by using standard web technologies like HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript. And the main advantage of this web application is write once and run anywhere, and it can be compatible with every version. Example, if you have developed an web application for an iOS device, you can be install it on other devices as well and other versions as well. Okay, got it? And coming to native applications are developed by targeting set of devices or for a particular platform. For example, uh, if you want to develop a native application for iOS, you need to you have developed a native application for iOS. It can't be installed on Android devices. Okay, and one more thing is native application can be installed on other versions or cannot be. For example, if you see the latest version of our app, Ancestry works for iOS, Ancestry iOS app, it can't be installed in iOS 4.4 version. Its current version is 6.1.3 and we can't install it on 4 version. Yes. The main intention is native application is developed for us by targeting set of devices. The application which was developed for iOS can't be installed in Android device. That's why Ancestry has two mobile teams, one for iOS and other for Android. Yeah, Gautam works for it and Raja Ashwini I works for Ancestry iOS. And these native applications are developed by using the code of the OS. For example, if you need to develop a native application for iOS, you need to use Objective-C because the OS of the iOS devices is Objective-C. Okay, for Android you need to use and Java. Yes, and yes. Next, coming to hybrid application, this application is both a combination of web application and native application. It was developed by using for an user. We can't identify difference between native and hybrid. Native and hybrid. Native and hybrid, and developer can identify. Usually, hybrid application can be developed by using HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript by wrapped up with a native container. And this is about mobile web applications. Are you getting it?
Yes.
And little bit faster. Can I? Okay. Yes, and I'd like to concentrate the main work of us is testing. How we test this type of applications, web applications, native applications, and yeah. For web applications, we mainly look on to two things. One is responsiveness, and resizing. If you see, we have different devices, iPod and iPad. It has different resolutions, different sizes. For example, if you have developed a web application, it should be resized according to the device. Otherwise, it was useless. It is useless. And one more thing is responsiveness. It should work. It should perform the actions for every part. Buttons should be clickable, and it should perform the specified action. Okay, that is called responsiveness. We need to look these two things in the web application. Then next, coming to native application, testing of native application. There are lots of things to look in native application because we are testing a native application. Network scenarios, rotation issues, and Next, overload, stress testing, everything comes under. Shankar will discuss it later more clearly. And one more thing, web application, native applications. I would like to stress one thing. Native application, most users, uh, one of the survey I have read in one of the survey, 80% of the people are very much interested in native applications over web applications. Because what are the advantages of native web application over native applications over web applications? Okay, the first one is easy to use. We easy to use because after one more thing I forgot to say, web applications runs on browser, but native applications we need to install it on the device. Okay, if you after installing it on the device, we can it has device features. The web application look and feel is different. That one is emulated one. It doesn't have a device look and feel. And one more thing is, by using native applications, we can access the device features like calendar, device resources like calendar, notifications, like that. But using web application, we can't access the device features. And this is about mobile web application. And let's move on to after once you are developed your native application from here onwards we would like to concentrate on only the native applications, okay, because the people are much interested on native application over web application, and we are also testing we are also testing on native applications. Once you are done with native application, once you are developed, after developing a native application, what do you do? What do you do? If it is stable enough, we push it into App Store, or we distribute it to for testing. Okay, and one more thing I want to tell: if we compare with Android and iOS, after Android we get .apk file. For iOS we get .ipa file. .apk file can be directly installed. Can be directly installed it on any devices, Android devices. But this what we sorry after 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 the prepare after after native application is developed, it can't be installed. The IPA file which can't be installed directly onto our iOS device. It needs a base called iOS provisioning profile. Okay, without iOS provisioning profile, we can't install directly what IPA file into our device. And Shankar will continue the remaining presentation. He will talk about how we create provisioning profiles, and he will talk about how we test native applications more clearly and remaining part. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Till now Mohan has discussed about the type of applications being developed on mobile and how to test web applications. Before testing, as Mohan said, iOS applications cannot be installed on devices without some directly. We need to create some provisioning profiles. We have two types of distribution methods to distribute the iOS applications developed. First one is App Store and second one is ad hoc. These applications need to have a digital signature to be installed. Digital signature to be installed on devices. App Store. App Store, as most of you know, that it is a distribution platform, digital distribution platform used to download, purchase, upgrade our third-party applications. All the third-party applications will be published to App Store to market through App Store, and this is similar to Play Store on Android. And what if we want to test our native applications before submitting it to market? If it is stable enough, no problem, it will work. But if we have a doubt that it have bugs, we need to test it right before submitting. Then, as I have already said, we have second method, that is ad hoc distribution method. We'll go through it. Ad hoc distribution method. For testing purposes of iOS applications, we use ad hoc distribution method. Applications can be installed on devices for testing with some digital certificate digital signature using this ad hoc distribution method. For creating the digital signature to be installed on devices for testing, we need to create some distribution profiles, and for these distribution profiles we need to follow some steps. These are the steps involved. This may be a little bit confusing. I cannot. This needs to be done on Mac system and with developer credentials on developer portal, Apple's developer portal. Unfortunately, we don't have developer credentials, so we cannot do it. I'll take you through screenshots. First step is certificate sign request. This is a message sent from the applicant, that is from our side, to certificate issuing authority for digital identity of our certificate. We need to request a certificate, and this may mostly contains our organization name, domain name, and locality. This is after creating a .css certificate, that is certificate sign request on Mac, and that .css certificate will be created using Mac keychain access on Mac. And after creating it, we need to log into developer account in the Apple provisioning portal, and this is how it looks like. Apple iOS provisioning portal. Here on the left pane we can see some tabs: home, certificates, device, app IDs, provisioning, distribution. All these we'll go through them. This is how the basic home page of iOS provisioning portal look like. And here this is taken on certificates. Under certificates we have request certificate, right? After creating a .css certificate, we need to upload the .css certificate and distribution certificates distribution center and request a distribution profile, distribution certificate. Here we can we need to upload a certificate and then request a distribution certificate. Third step is devices. We want to test our application on particular device, right? We need to specify the device ID. We need to register the device to the application before we install the application. For that, we need to select devices, and these devices should be registered here. For a particular, this is for a particular app. For each app, we need to register our devices for testing purpose. And these registrations of device can be done using UDID. UDID stands for Unique Device Identifier, and this is a 40-digit hexadecimal code. And the maximum of 100 devices per app can be registered per app. Maximum of 100 devices. So we can test our iOS application native application develop on 100 devices before publishing. App ID. This is something like giving some specified name to our app that it can be used throughout the provisioning portals. And distribution method. Here we can see App Store and ad hoc. These are the two distribution methods. If we are going with App Store, we can directly skip all this. We can skip all this process and directly select App Store under provisioning. Directly select App Store. It will be submitted to App Store, and after Apple reviews our app, and after it is up to the standards, Apple will publish it to App Store. Otherwise, it will be rejected. Apple have some guidelines, and we need to follow all the guidelines to fulfill its conditions. And ad hoc, as I already said, ad hoc is a method used for distribution. So no need of any guidelines. We just need to select. Select device, register device under devices, and then select ad hoc method here. We can submit. Now we will get a provisioning profile certificate .p12 certificate. This certificate along with our developer Xcode project, we need to combine both these and create an IPA file. That IPA file can be distributed and installed on the devices specified. And this can be, for this to be done, we have some third-party applications like DPS App Builder. We can combine both this and create a .ipa file. Otherwise, we can create it on Xcode on Mac. Now, have anyone ever tested mobile applications here? No one? What is the most interesting bug you have found in that testing? So it is a crash report. Crash report occurs whenever there is a code breakage. Whenever there is a code breakage in our application, we'll observe crash, and these crashes cannot be. We cannot take screenshots. These are critical issues. So we need to convey this to developers. So for this, in iOS we have following crash reports for particular applications will be saved here under these locations on OS X and Windows 7. After you get a crash report, immediately connect it to PC and sync it to via iTunes through iTunes. Then navigate to this location and you will find a crash report. Send it to developer and they can easily analyze it.
Can't we directly send it from mobile?
No, it can only be sent to iTunes. As most of you have using this, iTunes is a media library application used for purchases, downloads of videos, music and everything. Also games. And we can also use these iTunes applications to back up your iOS, restore everything. This is the testing scope of iOS native applications. Here mainly here we go. It is a functionality part. Under functionality part we need to check all these, and for UI mostly hardware, this is the compatibility issues, hardware and network scenarios, under how our application works under the different network scenarios. Also data and audio video. Also software versions and different versions. Any questions? Any questions?
Any questions?
No questions?
What is the difference between native applications and hybrid applications?
Native applications.
Any
Any examples? For example, native application hybrid.
Can you repeat the question so that the other people
Yes. What is the difference? Your question is, what is the difference between native application and hybrid application? For example, the best example, if you take Angry Bird game, it is example for native application. And if you take our Ancestor app, it is good example for hybrid. There is a navigation for the browser to and fro, navigating browser pages.
Browser application is?
Yes.
Games are all native applications. They don't.
Web browser
They can be
will
used offline. They don't need any internet connectivity. We can work on them offline, like games.
Sure.
Most of the games.
Just like standalone.
Most of the games.
Just like standalone.
Yes.
And for example, we use Facebook native application. We need to incorporate all the web APIs in it, and we will use web in this application.
Yeah, there is a
It is
to and
hybrid
fro
application.
between internet.
Combination of both web and native applications.
What about Ancestor? Which is a native or hybrid?
Hybrid. Hybrid one.
Sure.
Yes, sure.
నువ్వు అడిగింది నువ్వు అడగమని నేను అడిగేసాను.
Thank you. ఇంకోటి అడగమన్నారు కదా?
Any other questions?
Please ask any questions.
Questions?